Let me just underline the background for our work, which we have been going on with for a month or so. We discussed at our Prime Minister's meeting and Vice Prime Minister's meeting the day before the 11th of February at our working dinner at a preparatory meeting how to ensure exactly the goals we have been presenting for you today. And there was an agreement all around the table saying we cannot allow that Europe turn her back to countries which are in trouble. It's a shame that IMF is the only answer to a member country in a Eurozone who's in trouble. We have to take upon us a common responsibility, and that's why we since have been working on making a detailed proposal for a new solidarity inside the Eurozone. The purpose is, as Stavros mentioned, to avoid that new member countries are coming into similar troubles again, as we have seen in this concrete case. Now, what we are going to design is, in the one hand, a type of European monetary fund, but on the other hand, it's also a monetary fund with a social face, ensuring that the demands to the welfare states will be a political decided negotiation in the ECOFIN together with the concrete member states, and based on the European Union's social and human and economic and other values, with the purpose also to ensure that there will be a growth path out of a situation which a member country is in. So what we take as point of departure is the new Article 122 in the Lisbon Treaty, stating that financial solidarity can be used in the event of exceptional occurrences beyond a member state's control. So it's important to underline that it wasn't for speculation that Greece could benefit from much cheaper loans. If it wasn't, it was the speculation who created the troubles, and we're going to avoid this to be repeated. What we're going to propose then is a mechanism with the following objectives. Number one, the prime objective of the mechanism is to create conditions in which a sovereign default from any Eurozone member state is clearly just impossible by the markets. The mechanism, secondly, protects the Eurozone against speculative attacks on sovereign debt and the single currency. Number three, the mechanism creates the conditions for Eurozone member states to borrow at normal market price in line with real fundamentals. That's where the mechanism then comes in. The most simple version I can present to you today is the following. The mechanism is managed by the European Investment Bank. The European Investment Bank have extensive experiences to operate on the market. Their loan taking is AAA, and no one would question the guarantee system they have. So we propose to establish a trustee fund representing, through the EIB, the collective interest of all Eurozone member states. The EIB will then be able to use this fund to borrow on the market at a fair price. Once the funding has been secured by the trustee fund, it would be used to provide fair financing for any Eurozone member state facing speculative pressures. So you can see that what we're saying here is that we're sending the signal to the market that in the future we would not accept that by attacking a single member state, you can press the prices down on Euro bonds, on bonds issued by an isolated member state. By standing together in a mutual assurance like this one is, we will ensure each of us. This means, in effect, also that no German taxpayers will have to promote or to transfer euros to any other member states. It's based on the same mutual insurance as any other, you could say, slide of loans made through the EIB. But it's a specific trustee fund under the guidance of the EIB. The ECOFIN Council will decide on the opportune moment to activate the mechanism on the basis of developments on the financial markets, including the spreads between the threatened member state on the one hand and stronger member states on the other hand within the Eurozone. And of course, the ECOFIN would also negotiate with the member state the following macroeconomic consequences. In respect to the current urgent case, we demand the ECOFIN Council meeting at the 16th of March to implement in a unequivocal way these recommendations. I've noted with interest that some of them have indicated that the present increases in prices of credit default swaps for Greece have been so speculative oriented that this is not acceptable. And we see here an extreme case of short selling of credit default swaps, which is in no way in correspondence to the real economic situation, for instance in Greece, or for that case in other member states. So this is a case for saying naked short selling of credit default swaps in such an environment is not in anyone's interest but the speculators around the hedge funds and investment bankers, and we will not allow that in the future. And I hope I appeal to the Council on the 16th of March to take that upon them. The setting up of the mechanism, that's my final remark, for one country requires, of course, as Stavros so strongly underlined, conditionality. The state benefiting from the mechanism must implement a strategy for fiscal consolidation which is compatible with a sustainable economic recovery and growth. Right? This is not only by respecting the first part of the Stability and Growth Pact, but the whole of it. And secondly, the ECOFIN Council should assess the applicant member state strategy and in particularly criteria of public deficit, public debt, and priorities of public spending and revenue. In this assessment of the fiscal consolidation strategy, attention must be paid to its outcome in terms of economic growth, employment level, and reduction of social inequality. So you see, mechanism, objective, no transference of money from any other member states, but a mutual insurance and guarantee system bearing this trustee fund as other slices of the EIB, and thereby avoiding that member states have to pay speculative extra prices and costs created by greediness.